Future MIL 54F called me 23F stupid, and now I'm considering calling off the wedding. How do I approach the situation? I, 23F, am engaged to John, 24M. We have been together for 5 years. We want to get married in July 2025. I always thought his family liked me because we get along well. He has 2 older brothers, 26M, 29M, both married. Honestly, I was very excited to have them all as my in-laws. They were always kind to me. Some important information. About a year ago, when I was scrolling on Instagram, I saw a profile that was a bit cringy, but in a cute way. It was an older woman's profile that shared inspirational quotes. I remember one particular post, and it was something along the lines of, "Only stupid people pretend to know everything. Don't pretend, just ask." Honestly, this quote changed me in many ways. Before that, I was always worried I might embarrass myself if I didn't know something. And after reading that quote, I realized that if I always pretend to know everything, I'll miss out on actually learning about things. So I decided to change my habits and start admitting that sometimes I genuinely don't know. Someone is talking about the war in Kosovo? Okay, sure, but first let me ask some questions so I can really understand what we're talking about. And I ask a lot of questions sometimes. I sometimes even open the Notes app and write down some questions that I later want to find answers to. Here are my latest. How does time work in a black hole? Why do some snails have shells and others don't? What food is okay for ducks? How does the light bulb work? The old ones with gas inside them. Does everyone see colors the same way? And how can we know that? Sorry for the long introduction, but it was kind of necessary for understanding what kind of person I am. I know that sometimes I might come across as annoying. Now on to the problem. His parents hosted a small barbecue last weekend, only for the family. So it was the mom, 54F, dad, 59M, brothers, 26M, 29M, and their wives, 27F, 27F. I was the last person to show up because I had to work late. I entered the house, and as I was walking towards the back into the backyard, I heard John's mom talking about me. To be honest, she wasn't talking about me. More like mocking me. I heard her say in a high-pitched voice, "How does the sun work? Where should I put the fork? Why does nobody like me? How do I wipe my ass?" I just stood there. I had this sinking feeling. I couldn't move, so I just stood there. And I heard them all laughing. One of the wives said, "I actually don't mind her always asking questions. I think it's cute." And it made me feel hopeful that they would say something like, "Yeah, sure, we're just playing, we love that." But none of them did. Instead, the mom replied, "It's not cute, she's just stupid." After that, they laughed again. I heard John laughing. My heart kind of broke at that moment because he didn't even say one positive thing. He didn't defend me. He just laughed. I quietly turned around and left the house. I texted John that I got sick and had to stay home. Now I'm wondering how I should approach this situation. We live together and I sleep in the guest bedroom for now, using the excuse that I don't want him to get sick from being around me. I can't ignore him forever, and I can't pretend to be sick anymore because it's been too long. I'm not sure how to proceed. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding. I'm considering talking to them about this, but I'm also worried that they won't be honest with me. I can't marry him if he really thinks I'm stupid, but I also can't marry into a family who thinks so little of me. But maybe it was a joke and I shouldn't take it so seriously. I'm so torn apart, and every day I convince myself a bit more that it's okay, and sometimes we should all laugh at ourselves. Now I feel like I'm just going crazy. I would really appreciate some advice. Edit. There are many comments saying they cannot stand people like me. I agree that sometimes I may be a bit too much with the questions, but with that being said, I still think I'm within reason. I don't do it around people I just met. I rarely do it at parties or other gatherings. I usually do it with people who are close to me, who I think wouldn't judge me, or with people who specifically have knowledge about something and are willing to share it. If I'm part of a conversation, I'm not rude, and I'm not interrupting. I usually just ask 1 or 2 questions. If a discussion is about climate change, I'm not asking about monkeys, if you know what I'm saying. I'm also not a complete dumbass. I don't ask questions which generally would be considered dumb to others. Those I just write in the notes and check answers later on the internet. I'm capable of reading, so I make good use of it. But still, I do ask questions a lot. Update. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to people who reached out to answer my questions about black holes, snails, ducks, light bulbs, and other stuff. I would love to have you as my friends. For the others who said I should just shut up, I don't really care if you find me annoying or hard to be around. I'm okay with that. I don't exist to please everyone. I'm just here for a good time, have my own interests, and learn. I didn't expect my post to gain so much attention, but I'm so grateful for the advice. Most of you told me to break up with him and at the very least confront him, so that's what I decided to do. You gave me a push and confidence to do it. But before I did that, I texted the wife of John's brother, the one who said she liked me asking questions. I asked if we could meet up for coffee. She said sure. We met, and I didn't see the point in pretending to her that I didn't hear their conversation. So after some small talk, I just said, "I heard you all talking about me during the BBQ." She immediately felt sad and said she was embarrassed. She explained that it wasn't a joke, wasn't out of context, that it was just mean and hurtful. She said she's sorry for not defending me more, but I said it's okay, and I understand. I told her that I don't blame her for anything. I just wanted to make sure I understood the situation and saw it for what it really was. And it really was laughing about me behind my back, just bullying. At this point, I just had to confront John. In my last post, many comments said he would probably try gaslighting me, and you were right. We were having dinner together for the first time since the BBQ happened, because before, I tried my best to avoid him. Yes, I know, not very mature of me, but other than you guys, I don't really have a strong support system. My family and best friends are hundreds of kilometers away. I only have 2 good friends here. I was so stressed I thought I was going to pass out. My legs were shaking, and I was terrified because I knew deep down that this was the moment when my 5-year relationship went down the drain. I looked him in the eyes and asked, "How does the sun work?" He looked confused, so I followed with, "Where should I put my fork? Why does nobody like me?" At this point, realization hit him, and he started nervously laughing. I said I was there, and I heard them. After the initial shock passed, he got mad. He said it's rude to eavesdrop. I said it's rude to bully people. He tried telling me that it was just a joke, that I shouldn't be so uptight, that it really was funny. I said I didn't find it funny and went to the guest room to calm down. He started panicking. He was asking me to please talk to him. He was much more apologetic and said he would be 100% honest with me. I asked if his mother made similar comments before the BBQ. He said yes. I asked him if he ever defended me. He said he tries to. I don't know if I believe him. He told me he loves me and respects me. I don't know if I believe it either. I said that I love him too, but I need a break. He's all I've ever known. He was my first and only partner. I have no outside perspective on this. I have no experience. I need a moment to think. I will be going to my friend's house for a while to think everything through. The apartment has his name on the lease anyway. After I gathered some of my things and left, he kept texting me nonstop. He tried calling, but I didn't respond. I was very hurt because he tried to belittle my feelings. And only later, when he realized that I might break up with him, he started apologizing. The next day, I decided to give him another chance to explain himself, and I came back to the apartment. He seemed very sad and tired. He said that he told his mother that I overheard them. I said I don't care. It's his time to step up and show me that he cares, and I'm not interested in an apology from his mother. I'm already done with her. I can't put up with this behavior and mocking me like we're in primary school. I saw a comment saying that probably her ego is hurting. I think it's true. She never got the chance or never had the desire to have an education. She is a very good homemaker, but outside of that, she doesn't have many interests of her own. If I'm asking her about making tomato soup, she will be talking for 30 minutes lecturing me about adding enough sugar, but not too much. She will lecture anyone who is willing to listen. But anytime someone is talking about something she's not familiar with, she gets defensive and tries to imply that nobody cares about that, and if it's not relevant to her, it shouldn't be discussed. Once again, he tried telling me that I should relax because it was only a joke, and at this point, I had enough. I took off my ring and told him that his behavior is a joke, and I can't be the punchline. I told him that I wish him and his family the best, and to look in the mirror to see if they really are as superior as they believe themselves to be. I said I'd be back with my friend soon to pick up the rest of my things, and to not contact me again unless it's related to moving my belongings out, and that's it. I'm done. Thank you all for the advice. Without you, I wouldn't have had the confidence to leave this man. I know I deserve better. I can't be with someone who can't stand up for me, and I wouldn't feel comfortable around his family, so I'm ending the relationship. I hope they treat his next girlfriend better. Thank you again, Reddit, for the advice. Relevant comments. Commenter. Keep on being curious, not judgmental. Oop. Same. I absolutely love that show. I watched it with my ex, and it's funny that he didn't like Ted and thought that his character was not relatable and silly. To be honest, we should all have Ted's strength and positivity sometimes. Commenter. OP. Your ex Mill can still go and get an education. Many have, and there is still time. That's no excuse for what she did, and her saying and acting like that shows how uneducated she is. Oop. I think so too. I believe it's never too late to start learning something new and continue education. In my uni, there was an old lady in her 70s who recently graduated, and everyone was just so proud of her. In my country, university is free, so the barrier of entry isn't as bad as in the US, for example. Update. It's been some time since I last posted, so I thought I'd give you guys a small update because some people still keep messaging me. I appreciate all the kind words. So, I got my own apartment now. I lived with my friend for a while, and she was an amazing support for me after the breakup, but now I have my own place closer to my university and work. Turns out my ex-fiancé didn't tell his family that we broke up. I blocked them all except for the ex, because we needed to keep in touch to get my stuff from the apartment we shared, and the nice sill. A week after the breakup, she texted me and asked when I would come to the parents' house because everyone wants to apologize. I called her and said that we're no longer together, and I don't really want their apology. She seemed shocked because my ex was telling them, "We're fine, she just needs some time." Ex-Asil told me that the family is still fighting over this whole ordeal, and that the brothers are giving my ex a hard time about the situation. I told her nicely that I don't really want any updates. I like her, but I cannot put my energy into following their every move. She told me she understands. I don't know what happened after that with them. I'm happy. I went on a date with a cute guy I met in a cafe, but I'm taking everything slow and don't want to rush any relationship. I'm not ready because just 3 months ago I was planning a wedding, and right now I'm single, focusing on studying and work. When I graduate, I want to adopt a kitten, and that's my only goal in terms of any big commitment right now. I also enrolled in CS50 by Harvard X, and I recommend you all try to learn something new today. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask, and I will try to answer in the comments. Oopa's comments. Commenter. Update us on the kitten, please. Oop, I will for sure. I'm so excited. I wanted to get a cat for so long, but my ex was against it. He didn't like cats. He was a dog person. I'm waiting till I graduate because I want to have more free time to actually take care of it. Commenter. This may sound like a lot, but consider adopting two together. Two siblings or a bonded pair are not much more work than one, and they entertain each other and are so fun to watch. My profile pic is our kitten we adopted with his sister at the same time, and it's great. Oop. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Thanks. And your kitten is so cute. Give him and his sister some scratches and pets from me. Commenter. Part of a longer comment. May I ask if you already went and picked up your stuff from his place and blocked him for good? I hope so for you to end the chapter more easily. Oop. Yeah, after a week and a half, I was done picking up my stuff. I tried not to be petty and take my silverware, for example, so as not to give him a reason to get mad. I didn't want to go alone, so I only went when my friend had the time to help me. He did get mad when I took my air fryer. He loved it more than anything. Haha. I blocked him after I took everything that was mine. Ex's family. I think even though the brothers still think what the family said during the BBQ was funny, they are giving my ex a hard time because he let a good one go or something like that. They don't think they were in the wrong, but they're making fun of him for not standing up for me, and they're laughing at the fact that I broke up with him and he didn't even have the balls to tell them. One of them said that if someone called his wife stupid, he would defend her even if she had done something dumb. Commenter. You don't have a CL. Law is literally in the title. Ope. Yeah, it's just easier for people to read and understand. I didn't want to call her my fiance's brother's wife because that's long and awkward. Commenter. Seems like you moved on very easily. From love to engaged and blocked within a few weeks. OP. Yeah, the love faded really fast. I didn't expect it. The attachment to him is still there, but I very quickly stopped feeling love for him when I fully realized that he sees me as stupid and at the very least not on his level.